Okay, you guys, welcome back to the channel. I kind of got a sweet tooth tonight, so I'm kind of gonna make a bread pudding, but I'm gonna kind of change it up, and I'm gonna kind of try to make it more like an apple fritter bread pudding. I have, and I hope it works. I have everything's from the food bank except for the eggs and my seasonings. And I'll say the milk because they did give me milk, but I gave it Brittany, so I did get milk. So I'm going to say for the sake of the video that milk, okay? Even though I'm not using the food bank milk, but I did get milk, but I gave it to the kids today, or yesterday, before I realized I was going to do this, so I have to use my milk. Okay, or I would have used the food bank milk. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to say the milk. All right, so my bread is hard as a rock, but that's okay. We can solve that problem. So when you get bread that is not moldy, and it is hard like a rock, you do not throw it away. Okay? Do not throw it away. And I'll tell you why. Because all you have to do is take and put it in your microwave for a minute. Yeah, put it in your microwave. Because if you're going to make stuffing out of it, or something like bread pudding, you can salvage that. I mean, I know you don't want to eat it like a sandwich because it's hard as a rock. But, I forgot to wash that. It's not dirty. Stick that bread in your microwave. My ex-mother-in-law taught me this trick. I forget, not on bread, but she taught me this trick on something else. On how to refresh up crackers or something. And she said, stick them in your microwave. So, she passed away a long time before I ever got my divorce. But she taught me that trick to refresh something in the microwave. And it kind of has already stuck with me. And I kind of thought one day, last time I did this, why couldn't I do it with bread? Now, you have to pay attention to it. Because you don't want to overdo it because you're basically heating it up. I think this is going to work. If this does not work, I have plan B. I have some bread that I got for 50 cents a loaf at Save A Lot, and when we went to Kentucky, so I do have plan B. I do have plan B. So just be patient. We have plan B. But while I'm waiting for that to do that, I need a sharp knife. Because the apples came from the foodie bank pantry. We're going to use this pan. Last time I did this, I not microwaved it. I crocky potted it. See, it's getting tender. See, it's getting tender. But the ends are still hard. So we're going to break bread. Ooh, it's hot though. It's hot. That's the only downside to this. It is hot. And you want to be very careful doing this so you don't hurt yourself. Because I'm going to break it. Ow, it's hot. It's very hot. Probably can see the steam rise from it. Ooh, it's hot, baby. Ooh, it's hot. Supposedly, I need 8 cups of this, according to my recipe. I will put my original recipe in the video. I will put my original recipe in. What I'm jumping off of. I'm not following my original recipe as far as how I'm making it. I'm using it as a guideline of the ingredients that I need. That's how I'm using my recipe. I'm using it for the guideline for what I need for the contents. Like the eggs, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the milk, the vanilla. That's what I'm using my recipe for. Other than that, I'm winging this baby. And it'll either be good or it won't. Because I said the last time I made this, I felt like I was making a giant French toast. That's what I feel like I'm making. So, I'm gonna put this one still hard as a rock. I'm gonna put the hard as rock pieces back in the microwave. Let's see if we can nuke them up a little bit and get them softer. I got an Aberdeen jelly bean under my feet, hoping I will drop something so he can have it. So I'm gonna try something tonight because I kind of got a sweet tooth. And I would put it in the crock pot, but that takes about 4 hours to cook it in the crock pot. And I don't want to wait 4 hours. I only want to wait an hour or so.
Visit your local Tractor Supply.
And I like me a good apple fritter. I don't know about anybody else, but apple fritters are one of my favorite things. When we go to Pennsylvania and we go to this one flea market place that Ellen and Jerry take us to, always got to get me an apple fritter. Always got to get me an apple fritter. We'll nook those for a minute longer, or a second longer, while I cut this side up. Again, I'm telling you guys, a good sharp knife is worth your investment in your kitchen. It really is. Good sharp knife is worth your kitchen investment. It makes your life so much easier. Don't worry, all these crumbles I'm getting everywhere, I will vacuum them up. I don't like to leave any mess in my kitchen at all. And because I don't want this to stick, I'm going to spray my pan, my baking dish, with some butter spray. I do use that when I make things. Okay, I'm going to bring you guys back in a minute after I get all this cut up, okay? Okay, we did end up with almost 8 cups of bread, okay? Alright, so that's done. Okay. Put that in there. Now, the recipe called for the 8 cups of bread. I'm skipping the cup of raisins. Calls for 2 cups of milk, 4 eggs, 1/4 cup of butter, and then it calls for 1/4 cup of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So we're going to skip for a minute and we're going to cut up the apples. We're doing an apple fritter type one. Okay? And these apples came from the food bank. Okay? That's where I got my apples from. So we're going to start with. We're going to start with 3. We're going to start with some pretty good sized apples. And what I'm going to do to make it easier on myself is I'm going to cut them in 4s. Get the cores out. How anybody else does it. I'm going to get the cores out. Okay. And then I'm going to cut them again that way and peel them, because I don't think I want the peels in the recipe. And then after I peel them like that, I'm going to chop them up in little pieces. Little pieces. When I say little pieces, I mean little pieces, even probably smaller than that, come to think of it. Because I want this to be apple fritter-like. Let's get those out of there. We want this to be apple fritter-like. You know. So we're going to chop them up. So I'm going to do that, and I'll bring you guys back, okay? Okay, guys, we are back. We have about, I'm going to say, a happy 2.5 cups of chopped up apples. And I'm like really tiny. To me, you can't have too much fruit in anything you put it in when you bake something, especially if it's sweet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there and kind of try to mix this by hand. And I said by hand, Because sometimes you got to get your hands in it if you want it mixed up good. I mean, you can use a spoon if you don't want to touch your food, but if your hands are clean, touch your food. You got to give it, you got to caress it a little bit. You got to get in there and touch it. Give it some handmade love. Handmade love. You know, I'm sure your great-great-grandma touched her food when she made it. They didn't have all the fancy gadgets we all have now. They got in there with their hands and they touched their food. You know, they were probably lucky if they had a spoon and a big old mixing spoon and a wooden spoon and a big old whatever. I don't know what you guys heard, but I'm mixing it with my hands. So I got that apple mixed up in there. Now I'm going to mix in the ingredients, okay? It calls for some butter. Bring it. Need a dry towel. It calls for 1/4 cup of butter. So we don't have quite a 1/4 out, so we're going to use what we got. So sometimes you can do that. You can use what you got open. You don't have to be exact. Take my word for it. You don't have to be exact, guys. Everybody thinks you have to be totally exact. You don't. I'm telling you. You can be off. Okay, we are back. Now we can finish the video. Because my video dumped. I mean, my phone could not hold any more video. Alright, so I've melted the butter. Now I need at least 2 cups of milk. Alright, remember Proof Pantry milk? But we're going to go a little more milk because this is drier bread, so we're actually going to go with about 3 cups of milk. About 3. Because we had a little bit dry from last time. Okay? We had a little bit dry. Now I need to beat up my eggs. Now I don't know about anybody else, but I always beat my eggs before they go in anything. So let's do the eggs. I'm not one of the people who can crack my egg and then do this number that well. I can't really do that well. So I still have to. I did spray my dish with some butter spray. Just some butter spray, nothing fancy. You know, nothing fancy. I do not have a clean fork up there. Okay. Let's beat up these eggs. I'm beating up eggs over here. Okay, I'm going to mix the eggs in with my milk. I'm going to give that some good beatings, okay? So I really want to incorporate those eggs good in. I'm splattering milk everywhere. And beat those in good. Now, last time I made this, I actually took cinnamon sugar and I kind of sprinkled it all the way through there. So we're going to do that again. We kind of mix that up in there too. Again, get your hands in there, people. God gave us those before he gave us anything else to mix with. And as I said, I don't know if you heard me because I don't know if the phone cut out. Get your hands in there. You're making it with love. So get your hands in there. Get a little messy. If your hands are clean, they're great tools. The cinnamon sugar, give it just a little bit more love. Give it just a little bit more love. The cinnamon sugar will. There's still going to be cinnamon in that. That's why I said this made me think that it was like a cinnamon French bread, like French toast. That's why I kind of thought, kind of made me think of that. Okay, so cinnamon sugar. Recipe also calls for 4 eggs, butter already in there, 1/4 cup of sugar. Fourth of a cup of sugar. Need to fill my sugar container. Let me find my fourth of a cup of one. I need to mark these so I can see them better. That's 1/4. So, a fourth of a cup of sugar. And if it goes a little bit over, it's okay. The neighbor's dog is on the front porch. Hold on a minute. I got a shoe off the door. Hold on a minute, guys. Okay, I'm back. I just yelled at the neighbor's dog to get off the porch. Okay, we got a fourth of a cup of sugar in there. All right. We have milk, eggs, butter, sugar, vanilla. It calls for half a teaspoon of vanilla, but I say give it some extra love with the vanilla. Can't go wrong with vanilla. You just can't go wrong. So give it some extra love. Oh, I gotta find that and rinse that off. When it hits the floor, you gotta wash it off. All right, vanilla's in. It calls for nutmeg and cinnamon. Okay, here's my nutmeg. A fourth of a teaspoon of nutmeg. I have the proper teaspoons, but I'm not digging them out. So we will just wing it. After you've been cooking a while, you kind of, oops, that's way too much. You kind of have an idea what a fourth of something is. You kind of do. Now it also calls for a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, which at this point I don't think really matters, but we're going to put more in it because I've already put quite a bit of cinnamon in it. But we're going to go ahead and do it anyways. That's more than half, but that's okay. Cinnamon's not a bad thing. Cinnamon's actually good for you. Did y'all know that? I knew a lady when I lived in Florida at church, who went to church with me. That woman carried cinnamon in her purse, and she sprinkled cinnamon on everything she ate. Now, I don't know the total health benefits of cinnamon, but she put it on everything. I'm talking everything. Now, cinnamon takes a few minutes to incorporate to this powder substance, and it's going to be clumpy. But don't panic, it's okay. If I had a bigger container, I'd whisk it, but my favorite bowl I probably would have used today for this. I realized when I made one of my last recipes, it had cracks in it, which I don't understand. It smelled like stress cracks, so I had to throw it out. All right, we're going to call that good, because if there's extra chunks of it, it does not matter. All right, so we have that happy mixture there. I'm not going to worry about those chunks. Like I said, this is probably going to be good. We're going to pour this over all of this now. We're going to pour this over all of it. Trying to make sure we get it well coated. Kind of makes me think of French toast. And then we're going to kind of push it down in a little bit. Now I might, because I'm baking this, I might reach in there and stir it a little bit throughout the process to kind of flip those bottom pieces around to get them. I can't stand a messy in the process. I can't stand a mess. I'll come back and clean it better. Now, I know I done hit it once with the cinnamon sugar, but I'm hitting it again, guys. If you watch me do the last one, you know I'm hitting it again. And I'm probably going to hit it again once I stir it. But we're going to go ahead and stir it a little bit now. I'm hoping that that hard bread will soak up some of that moisture. I'm hoping, and make that bread a little softer. So I'm going to play with it for a minute. See if I can't soften up that bread. The worst I'll have to do is add a little more milk to it. It is starting to soften up a little bit. Children! So I really want that hard bread to soften up. There's some egg that didn't get stirred up as well. And while I'm doing this, I can stir up some more of the apple. It smells so good. All that cinnamon. That's why I'm hoping this is going to taste like an apple fritter dish. That's what I'm hoping. And then when it's all done, I'm going to take some powdered sugar and make a powdered sugar glaze to go over the whole top of it. And how you make a powdered sugar glaze, in case I don't do it, you actually take powdered sugar and water and mix it until you get a nice thick syrup consistency, and you put that on top of it. That should be really good on top of it. Oh, this smells amazing, guys. I can only imagine what it's going to smell like when the apples get baked into it. I can only imagine. I just want that bread, those hard pieces, to soak up that milk. They're starting to soak it up. I think I'll play with it for a minute. And then I'm going to sprinkle it one more time with the cinnamon sugar on top. And I'm going to bake it. Now, if I was using like just bread, loaf bread from the store, that's how my sister-in-law makes it. I would have just done the 2 cups of liquid. But because I used the harder bread, not stale, but dried out bread, I went with an extra cup of liquid on it. Just manipulating those last couple hard pieces, kind of turning them upside down and around. It should be amazing when it's done. By the time I sprinkle this with the cinnamon sugar, it should have a nice coating on top of it too. Got me a finger cramp. Might pour a dash bit more milk on it, guys. A dash more milk on it. I don't want to dry. I don't want a dry pudding, but I don't want a soupy pudding either. It'll be good no matter what. Okay. Now that should soak everything up. If I messed up, I messed up. We'll find out. Alright. We're going to add a good layer of cinnamon sugar on top. Kind of push that down a little bit. Okay, you guys, welcome back. I believe it is done. It took about 40 minutes to bake. It looks nice and firm, not too crunchy on top. It looked like it soaked up the juice fine, not too moist. The side of it looks really good, I think. Okay, so I'm going to set this off up here for a minute while I make the powdered sugar glaze. I put in about 4 heaping tablespoons like this of powdered sugar. And then you just take water and you just whisk it together until you get the consistency you want. Okay? That's all you do. Is you gotta be careful adding water because powdered sugar dilutes quickly. It dilutes quickly. So you might have to add more powdered sugar. I need more powdered sugar. It does. It dilutes quickly. I have an overabundance of powdered sugar right now. An overabundance of powdered sugar. There's 2 more heaping tablespoons in. But I actually think I need more to make sure I kind of really want to cover that whole thing. So I really want to cover that whole. And again, if this is clumpy, it's okay because it's going to go over that. And if a clump breaks up when you're eating it, it's just going to be a burst of powdered sugar. That's all it's going to be, a burst of powdered sugar. And I don't think what helps me, is the fact that we got a wood-burning stove this winter. And I think that makes some of my stuff get clumpy.
Very cool. Yeah. Exactly.
Babe, do you want some of this when I get it done? See, it's a nice drippy consistency. See that? So I am going to drip this over top of my bread pudding, or my apple fritter bread pudding, as I want to call this one, an apple fritter bread pudding.
Cool, Bear.
That's what I want to call this one, an apple fritter bread pudding. And I might make up just a little bit of more of this to put on top of it when I cut it. So let me do that. Make up just a little bit more to put on it. When you cut it. This will cure any sweet tooth. But the thing about it is you know what's going in what you're taking in for a sweet tooth. That's the thing about it. When you're having a sweet tooth like this, you know what you're having. You're not having a little Debbie snack that's a preservative. This is stuff you know what you're having. Like I said, you make this as thick as you want or as thin as you want. I want a little thin. Alright. Let me get out a bowl and get Dan a little bit so he can taste it. Tell me what he thinks of it.
You get down and you get back up.
All my big spoons are in the dish strainer. Oh yeah, that's tender. I mean, that's like real. That's moist. That's a moist, whatever it is. That's moist. I hope he likes it. I do. Let's put some more drizzle on it. And it'll probably set up a little bit too. All right, now that's diabetes in a bowl, I think. Let me go take it over, Dan. See what he thinks. Let me scoop myself out some. Probably I need to let it set up a little bit. But I couldn't wait. Because a little puddingish down there. You know, it probably needed to set up a little bit. What do you think, babe?
Good.
It's good? Dan says it's good. We're going to find out what I think. It's hot. Mmm. That is good. Mmm. A little bit of the bread is still a little bit hard. It's probably why it needs to still sit for a minute. But it's good. It's good. I have to do it sometimes with just fresh bread. I have to do it with fresh bread sometimes. But it's good. Okay, guys, it was just success. It's really good. Probably be better once it sits for a little bit, but I couldn't wait no more. There's a little crunch to the apples a little bit. Probably could have left it in the oven a little bit longer. So I might just slide it back in there. But you could bake it, depending on your oven, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. But it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. This is a thumbs up. This is one that's going in the recipe box. Maybe a little less milk, but it's good. It's really good. It's really good. So, it's a thumbs up. It was a success. Critique the milk a little bit, or let it set up a little bit. But it's good. I think it's good. So, I'm going to say, if you like my videos, like and subscribe.
No.
And, live happy, be happy, do happy things. And,
No.
if you run into one of those unhappy people, remember, smile at them. Maybe they'll have a better day. But yeah, this is good. This is good. This is real good. They're really good. They're really good. I'll be having this for breakfast in the morning. Tell you that right now, guys. I already know what I'm having for breakfast. Alright, see you on the next video. Bye.